What's up, everybody? Fearless Front here with a Craftsman update. I'm using a digital camera to record this because my other camera shit the bed, so bear with me. This video is probably not going to be all that great. But I gotta make it quick because this camera also sucks as far as memory. But been doing a lot of work here. Hood's all trimmed up, both sides now, so everything can flex and clear. Just got the Murray out here as a little size comparison, basically. I got the gas shocks mounted on there with a bolt up there, and I put some shock towers up there. I'll show you those in a minute. But you can see now how big this thing really is. I mean, compared to the Murray, it's got a lot more ground clearance. The lowest point on the Craftsman right now is that thing right there. This bolt is about 8.5 inches off the ground, as is that skid plate on the back. But that's still pretty good. Those are the lowest points, and I mean, Jesus, still that's quite a bit for a lawn tractor. So here's the back side. You can see the difference now. There's actually not a huge difference between this one and the Peerless. There's a difference of probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2. But these tires on the back of the Craftsman now are about 23 inches tall. They're 155/80 13s. They were for a Honda originally, and you can see right there the centers from old wheels that I had, that I basically took the old tires off, cut the wheels hub centers out, and welded them to the insides of these wheels, and they go on with the stock keyway. And the reason I use the stock keyway is because if this thing gets really bound up in a rock, then I want the keyway to break, not the transmission. So hopefully that'll work as a good fuse point. The battery, haven't done yet, but I'm thinking is going to go back under here. It's going to sit right over that pulley. But to do that, I have to raise this seat up a little bit, which is fine because I think I want it to move forward a little bit anyways, since I got the new shifter. I can now actually do that. So that's probably going to get changed around a little bit. So we're obviously still not done yet. I still need a nice front bumper. I don't know what I'm going to do for front bumper. I had a couple of ideas, but I'm limited on steel. So leave me some suggestions. I'm thinking, I don't know how many of you guys know 79 F250, I think that's his name. I forget the rest of his name, but he has the Rusticide project, and he's got a pretty nice front bumper on the front of his tractor, which I'm thinking about using that design or something similar for this. Still need rear fenders. Sounds like a goddamn moped. Needs a rear bumper as well. It definitely looks funny with these tires, so you know, I don't really care if you guys tell me, yo, that looks dumb or whatever, but because it does, I agree. But it's purely functional at this point. Alright, so I'll show you how the shocks are hooked up on this thing. You can see everything clears inside the hood perfectly fine. Those two pieces of angle are actually the shock towers. Everything on the motor is still accessible. I'll pull this hood off real quick so you can get a better look at it, but this just goes to show you that these Craftsman hoods are so goddamn big you can fit anything underneath them. So here's how they're mounted. The two pieces of angle, they're about 1 foot tall. And these gas charged shocks are mounted. The top side is mounted to a bolt that's welded to the angle, and it goes downward at a slight angle to the axle, and that's got a bolt welded to the axle with a nut that holds that on, and it actually keeps everything pretty centered and slows the back and forth motion of the axle down quite a bit, so it shouldn't dump you off nearly as easy. Not that I drove it around a lot, but the little that I did, it felt like it was going to. The exhaust has to be changed out. I can't use that canister style anymore, so now I gotta build some sort of straight pipe exhaust, but I'm not sure where that's gonna go. I was thinking straight out the back. I don't really know if I want to do a stack. Everyone does stacks, but leave me some feedback on what you think I should do with this exhaust. I'm not really sure where I should go with it. I'm almost thinking venting out the side in front of the pedal, or maybe just straight out the back or something like that, but I'd like to keep it low. But I want to keep it well hidden so nothing can bash into it and break it. No carburetor air cleaner on there yet because the shock tower takes up too much room for that. So I got to either chop the old one or come up with a new scheme to basically get some filtration on there. Otherwise I'm going to be screwed in a short matter of time. No gas pedal yet. Still waiting on tuning up the engine to really delve into the whole racing it up type thing. Everything else is still pretty much the way it was. So when you cycle the suspension back and forth on this thing, it makes a pretty cool sound with the shocks now. So I'm going to just kind of move it around a little bit so you guys can hear that, just because I think it's pretty cool and it deserves being shown to you. I'm going to use the Craftsman hood and a couple sticks here to mount my sweet ass digital camera. Hopefully you can hear that over the wind and everything. It's kind of breezy out here, but it definitely slows down how fast that tire can drop, which is very nice riding it. I've ridden it, probably rode it 10 minutes yesterday and just kind of cruised around the yard in first gear, and I can already tell I definitely need to gear this thing down. I probably geared it up a little too high, so that means those cross braces are going to have to get moved back or cut out and redone. Same with those ones, but that's not a big deal. I can do that quite easily. And I'm going to put a slightly larger pulley on there to slow this thing down, because you throw it in fourth gear and this thing flies with these big tires, and it's really not the purpose of this machine. It's to go really slow and controllable, but I'd like to have a lower first gear, that's for sure. So that's the update, you guys. I'm sorry for the crappy camera, but I figured this was better than nothing, and I'll update you as soon as I finish the exhaust, maybe get a battery in this thing and move the seat and everything, and I'll drive it around and take it up to a romping spot where I can beat the living crap out of it and hopefully break something. That'd be cool. Later.